Hey everyone, welcome back to Susie's Space. Today's practice is going to be mainly on the ground. When we practice on the ground, it's very nourishing. We feel our bones getting heavier, our muscles relaxing, our breath getting a little deeper. And from there, we can start to lengthen out a little bit further. So practice for me is about creating more space for more prana, for more energy, for more clarity, and to feel more comfortable in my vehicle, which is my body. It's a practice to get to know our bodies, as we all know, the difference between the left and right side. So on the ground, make sure you have props around you. I have a bolster, I have a couple of blocks, you may or may not need them. You can use pillows instead of a bolster. I have a belt, you can grab a scarf. I have a scarf for the end to pop over my eyes when we come back to final relaxation. And I've got a blanket spread out on my mat to start with. So get yourself something that's going to give you a little bit more padding, something that you can slide along. And we'll start on our back. So now if you'd like to have a pillow for under your head and neck here, if your shoulder is a little tight and your cervical spine arches, please have a pillow there. If you'd like something under your knees, please have something there. So set up for how you need to be comfy. Otherwise, just have the palms facing down. Let's start with the palms facing down. Rock the pelvis a little, lengthen through the heels. If you've got supports, you can still do this. And then after a little bit of movement through the body, just drop into stillness. Let the shoulders be heavy, maybe rock the shoulders a little. And start to feel yourself from your toes up through your ankles, knees, thighs, to your pelvis. Letting yourself drop. Feel your hips, your front hips, your back hips. Feel your waist, your tummy, your navel center. Feel the air coming in and out of the nostrils and coming down into the lungs, ballooning areas of the torso. As you inhale, feel your body become a little bit lighter. As you exhale, feel the front body dropping back towards the back body, navel towards spine. Back hips get heavier, front ribs towards back ribs. Just keep the breath flowing, feeling gravity. A huge part of our practice of yoga is learning to release, learning the art of letting go. Not choosing what we let go of, not grabbing something in our mind and saying, I need to let this go, but actually just giving the physical body an opportunity to let go, which will offer the mind space to start to let go, to start to see things differently, to feel things differently. Maybe things dissipate altogether. Feel your shoulders getting heavier, your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your hands. Feel the palms on the ground, the fingertips. Feel the parts of the hands that are off the ground. Feel your neck long, base of the skull heavy, jaw soft, released, space between the teeth. The tongue is soft, the cheeks are soft, the eyes are closed, the forehead smooth. Just keep on breathing and feeling you dropping deeper and deeper. Starting to tune into sensations in the body. That will be the focus of this practice. Dropping down, lengthening out, creating space. Take a nice big inhale. Open the mouth. Sigh it out. And bend the knees one at a time. If you have something under your knees, just pop it to the side. Bring the feet in towards the pelvis, knees up towards the ceiling. Push into the feet, lengthen through the tail. Make sure there's feet are at least hip distance apart. Little toe sides straight, so you've got a nice foundation here. Take the hands under the head, clasp them under the head, roll the shoulders under. Relax the elbows down. Inhale, arch the spine like you're trying to get an arm or something underneath your lumbar spine. Exhale, elbows come together. A little bit like cat-cow on the back. Inhale, open, arch, exhale, round, shorten the front body, push into the feet. Inhale, open, squeeze the navel back, pull the front ribs in. The movement does most of the work for you. Keep flowing with your breath. Find a rhythm that's yours. Feel the warmth that you're generating in your core for your organs. Every time we exhale, we compress deeply into the organs. Every time we open, we're creating space for oxygen. Where there's oxygen, there's fresh blood. Oxygenating the layers and layers and layers of tissue, lungs, organs of digestion, small and large intestine. This time as you exhale, come up as you would, but take the right elbow across to the left. Inhale, drop down. Open up, exhale up and round to the side. Feel the sensations. Take your time. notice when you feel more sensation, does a part of you want to go quicker? Does a part of you want to stop? Have a bit of a giggle at yourself. Don't take it too seriously. The body benefits more from our smile during practice than our trying to get something right. And when we are met with our funny little idiosyncrasies, take a giggle. Otherwise it can get very serious. Let's go one more on each side. Finishing on your right. We started on the left. And then coming back down. Lengthen out through the legs. Remove the arms. Palms can be facing up or down. Enter stillness. Enter effortlessness. Become more and more efficient at letting go. It's a training for the nervous system. Two more breaths. Feel the sensations. The more we move, the more sensations we'll feel through the body when we come back to this position. And that's what we're tuning into, those sensations. Then bend the knees. Have them quite wide, not mat distance apart, but at least as wide as your pelvis, your thighs. We're just going to inhale. As we exhale, let the knees drop to the ground. The back will arch. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the opposite side. Keep the feet the same distance apart. It's a little bit like windshield wipers. And as you inhale to the center, exhale. If you can draw the navel back just a little, you'll be able to let go of the hips as they drop. Let go of the thighs as they drop. So the movement becomes a little less forced. Maybe take the arms up at shoulder height. Movement becomes a little less forced. Like we're letting go of the movement. There's so much in life we need to control. Getting places on time, kids to school. But right at this point in time, there's not really much we can control. And unless we're working from home, and even working from home, we can have a slightly different schedule. For those people that commute, this would be totally different. So this idea of controlling anything has really got to fly out the window. This time as your knees come to a side, turn your head gently to the opposite side, and we'll just keep flowing. Maybe at the end of your exhale, your legs even bounce a little because you've really let them go. Feel the natural arch of the spine. We're not forcing a deeper arch. We're just loosening up through the hips, nice and softly. Head turning, so we're getting a spiral through the whole spine, a very gentle spiral. And when we just repeat the same movement over and over again, the body really starts to surrender and let go. One more on each side. And come back to center. Slide the heels out along your blanket or your mat. Palms facing up or down. Drop into the ground. Breathe into the belly. Notice if you're getting a little heavier. Notice the sensations in the body. Let's bring the feet together. The big toe mound can be touching. Lengthen through the heels. Bring the toes in towards the shins. Push out through the balls of the feet. Lift up through the quads. Keep the heels connected if your heels come off the ground. Soften the knees. Dig into the heels. Clasp the hands. Push them up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen them over. Maybe you only get to here if you've got tight shoulders. Maybe you get a little lower. Maybe you come all the way to the ground. Don't push. Action through the legs. Balls of the feet away from you. Be nice and long. Feel the length in the side waist. As you exhale, draw the ribs back, draw the navel back, and get more length in the arms and the legs. 2 more breaths. There's a lot of action in this form. Then let's walk the torso over to the left. Come into a side bend on the ground. Sometimes we do this standing. Re-establish the feet, dig into the heels. Open up the right side of the body. Take 3 breaths. Spread the toes. Alert through the feet. Next time you inhale, back to the center. Exhale across to the right. Side bend, lengthen through the heels. Strong through the legs, open up the left rib cage, head an extension of the spine, just softly sitting in between the arms. 2 more breaths. Then inhale your way back to the center. Lengthen again, just for a full breath. And bring the arms up. Release. Feel the sensations now through the fingers, the wrists, the hands, the arms, the legs, the body. Let the tongue be soft and the jaw dropping back heavy. 1 more full breath. Slowly bend the knees. Roll onto your left side. Now, grab some props and just have them out in front in case you need them. Maybe a belt And then come and lie on your left side. Knees are bent. Wiggle over to the edge of the mat a little. Just let the head drop onto the arm to start with. Take a couple of breaths here, feeling the weight of your body. And then let's lengthen out the top leg. Let's go the top leg. And just keep this so that it's the right leg lengthening out. Now, if your hamstrings are restricted, if you're quite tight through here, you can bend the knee a little. Let the knee be heavier. Otherwise, lengthen all the way out. Lengthen the heel, spread the toes. If the knee is bent, you can still do this. Just feeling the length of the leg. The hips are stacked. And then I'm going to take this arm. You can hang on to the foot here. The knee can be bent. Or if you have tighter through your hamstrings, take your belt. So you're creating a closer grip. Now you can bring the head forward and rest it on the shoulder, or you can rest the head down, or you can grab a block or something and pop it under here. So find your position here. You'll be here for a little bit and just get comfy there. So find a position that you can just rest your head, use whatever supports you'd like to use, lengthen through this leg, spread the toes. Then I'm going to inhale, raise this arm to the ceiling, exhale, open up through my chest and keep lengthening through this heel. Now the foot can come off the ground a little bit here. Keep spreading the toes. If the knee is bent, it'll look a little more like this. So my heel, this leg energy is moving out to the left. My navel is twisting around to the right. My head can be wherever it's comfortable. Make it as comfortable as you can through the right shoulder. Have the palm facing up. Take nice deep breaths into the belly, and every time you exhale, draw your navel through and lengthen the heel. So the heel and the navel are going in opposite directions. Feel the sensations. Keep lengthening, keep feeling. Keep working into the form. Feel the head heavy. One more full breath. Next time you inhale, right arm comes up and over, and the left leg comes out and joins the right leg. Now, if you can, take the belt over both feet or hang on to both feet here and tuck your head in a little. And it's like we're coming into Paschimottanasana, forward fold, seated forward fold on our side. Now the knees can be a little bent here, the belt can be around the feet. Find a position for the head. Mine is resting on my left arm. Tucking yourself in, spreading the toes, lengthening through the heels. Three more breaths. Feel the earth supporting you so you can lengthen a little bit more. And this time I'm going to open up again, and as I do, I'm bringing my top leg with me and putting the sole of the foot on the ground. Now maybe this knee bends a little, maybe the foot comes off the ground. You can have a belt around here. Otherwise, lengthen the heel away from you. Shuffle so you're as much on your back on the ground as you can. palm of the right arm facing up. And lengthen through the heel. Open up the ball of the foot. Close the eyes. Breathe into the belly. Feel the sensations. Relax the upper body, the tongue, the jaw. Feel yourself open, long through the limbs. Two more breaths. Then I'm inhaling, right leg, right arm, back over. Either loop it through the belt or hang on with the hands, tuck in again. Maybe you tuck in a little bit further. Sometimes when we open up, we can come back and tuck further. Lengthen through the heels, spread the toes. 3 breaths. Then inhale, open up again. Let's keep the top leg where it is. Bring the bottom leg around. Come back onto your side and maybe you take a hold of this foot. Maybe you pop a belt around this foot. If you put your belt around the lower foot, just let this top leg be soft. Maybe you hang on to both and open up, lengthen the top leg, open the quad of the bottom leg. Take a few breaths here. Just find a position that feels right for you. Belt over the bottom leg, top leg relaxed. Two more breaths. There's a twist and a back bend. There's a lot going on here. And then release both legs. Come back to lying on your side. Dropping down into the ground. And then rolling onto your back, and we'll prepare for the opposite side. Now I'm just going to swap ends on my mat like this so I continue to face you. You can just roll onto your other side, or you can do this too so you can continue to see me. So we start on the right side. Pillow for the head, just dropping down heavy. Close the eyes. Every time we come to a transition like this, the goal is to be really heavy. My job is to remember what I did on the opposite side. That's always fun. Giggle with me if I get it wrong, please. You guys can't correct me because I can't hear you. Laugh along. And then let's lengthen through this top leg. Just keep this bottom leg nice and relaxed, exactly where it was. Maybe you take your belt here, pop it over this foot and hang on to it with your right arm. So you might have a belt over the foot. It'll look like this. You can have the knee bent. It'll look like this. You can still spread your toes, lengthen through your heel. So you can still do all the same lengthening here, whether you've got a belt and the knee bent or whether you've got your hand and your legs straight. Doesn't really matter. We just work with where we're at. So find a spot here that feels right for you. Spread the toes, spread the sole of the foot, open the fascia of the foot, lengthen through the heel, drop the body into the ground. Inhale, open, exhale, all the way over, breathing here. Breathing, twisting, lengthening, opening. Heel and navel going in opposite directions. This heel pushing out, navel spinning around to the left. So there's internal action. Feel the bottom leg on the ground heavy. Allow that to be your anchor to lengthen, spin, spread the toes, 3 more breaths. Then inhale up and over. Let's lengthen this under the underside leg. Again, put the belt over both legs, which would look like this. The knees can be a little bent here. Stack the feet. You can still lengthen through the heels. You can still spread the toes. Otherwise, you take a hold of the feet with the arms. Maybe the head rests on this arm. Tuck yourself in. Paschimottanasana on the side. Lengthen through the heels. Spread the toes. Feel the weight of the body on the ground. As you feel that weight, lengthen a little more. Tuck in a little more, relax a little more. Access the quad muscles a little more, lifting the kneecaps. 2 more breaths. Next time you inhale, arm comes up, top leg comes up. You keep lengthening through this heel even if your knee is bent. Shuffle onto your back as much as you can. Knee can be bent with the belt. Foot can be a little off the ground, or maybe you open right up. Left palm facing up, heavy through the pelvis. Lengthening, dropping, lengthening. Spinning the navel open to the left, back towards the spine. There's a lot of internal effort happening here. So when we come to doing these as standing poses, not today, we can really feel what's needed through the core to stay in the center so we can open and extend the leg to the side. Take 3 more breaths. Then inhale, arm and leg come back. Slip it into your belt. Stack the feet, take the hands, lengthen, lengthen. Knees can still be bent and you can lengthen through the heel and spread the feet. Inhale, exhale, curl in. Lift the quad muscles. as you would in a forward seating fold. Lengthen through the heels. 3 more breaths. Then inhale, open. Exhale, bend the bottom leg. Now maybe you remove your belt here and you just take your belt over your bottom foot to give yourself a nice quad stretch and just let this relax. You can bend the knee. Maybe you can take a hold of that foot with your hand. Maybe you can take a hold of this foot with your hand and lengthen. So give yourself a nice deep stretch wherever you're at. Everybody's body is different. And again, with the navel, we're taking it over to the left. Lengthen through the quad as if the knee is drawing away from the pelvis. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. The heel, the knee. 3 more breaths. Give yourself a smile. There's a lot of stretch going on here, pretty complex pose, a back bend, a twist, quad, upper leg, have a giggle if you feel all tied up. Next time you inhale, slowly release, don't bounce out, take it slow, stay calm. Come back onto your side. Just breathing here. Make a pillow for the head. Be heavy. One more breath here. And push into the hands. I'm just coming up. Maybe you just roll straight back over onto your back. I'm just coming back down and clearing a little to make sure that you can see everything. Lying down again on your back and just coming back to that start point and feeling yourself. How do you feel after that work? Rock the hips a little. Tuck the shoulders under. The goal is to feel heavier. The thighs maybe drop a little more. The belly's maybe a little softer. Rib cage accepting more air. Arms heavier. Maybe it's easier to sigh now. Let go of some emotional tension. Let's turn the head a little side to side. So when we feel the rewards of our practice, it keeps us coming back. So it's really important to take the time to tune in and go, what is this offering me? And then let's come back to that nice lengthening, feet together, big toes touching. Maybe the heels kick out a little. If you kick the heels out a little, big toes touching, the inner thighs will drop down towards the ground a little. Then you can push into the heels, lengthen the legs, lift the kneecaps, stabilize the pelvis. Arms up, hands clasped. Inhale, exhale, over. Just breathing, lengthening, breathing, lengthening. As you exhale, feel the natural pull up of the belly, natural Uddiyana Bandha. In this position, enjoy the spaciousness around the base of the ribs where the diaphragm is, separating the torso, lungs up top, digestive organs underneath. One more breath. Creating space for all of these organs to get what they need. And then totally releasing again. Let your body be heavy, arms down by the side. Look for those nice big spontaneous breaths and sigh them out. 3 more breaths here. Slowly bend the knees, one at a time. Roll over under the side. Push your way up. Now we will remove the blanket or whatever you had on your mat. I always just take the time to fold up my props in class and at home. Helps my yoga space to remain ordered. And now we're going to come up into a downward facing dog. So we've lengthened, strengthened, found our core. Now we're going to just do a little bit of weight bearing on these limbs. Just going to tuck myself in a little so I don't lose my top. Spread the hands on the mat and let's just drop our body weight. Come forward, rock side to side. Spread the hands, release the tightness. Notice where you are tight. Notice, is it hard to spread and drop body weight down into the hands. Move a little backwards and forwards. Really drop into the knuckle points. So drop into this part of the hands here. Spread the thumb. The power for lift comes from the knuckles. Tuck the toes. Inhale. Lift up high. Come up onto the balls of the feet. Look at the hands. Keep dropping body weight down into the hands. And then spring back up. Push into the ground. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Let the heels stay off the ground. Give yourself space. And then lift the kneecaps. Keep lengthening the soles of the feet. Maybe the heels come down a little closer. This is more about lengthening the soles of the feet. If you can, lift the toes. Lift the quads. Look at the kneecaps. Lift the kneecaps as if you're trying to draw the knees up into the pelvis. Keep pushing into the base of the fingers. Take 2 more breaths. Relax the tongue, the jaw, the neck. And inhale. Come forward. Let's walk the feet to the center. Let's spin it around to the front. Let's take the feet into a wide. Let's grab a block and a blanket or a pillow and pop this over your block or your book. Kick the heels out here so the heels are wide. Inhale, nice and long through the spine. Pull back through the sit bones. Lift up through the quad muscles like we were doing on the ground before. Lift the kneecaps, sit bones high. As you lift the sit bones, feel the feet earthing down. Inhale, exhale, fold. And get a height that suits you here for your hairline or just behind your hairline. Maybe your block is up higher, maybe it's lower. Walk the hands back and settle into your forward fold. Keep lifting the kneecaps. Lift, lift, lift the kneecaps. Sit bones high. The more you can lift the kneecaps,
more that your feet will drop into the ground. Grip the upper thigh muscles to the bones, nurturing, nourishing the bones. Take 3 more breaths. There's lots of effort in the legs here. Upper body is supported. So we're still going with that feeling of support. Push into the hands. Walk the hands out. Be nice and long through the spine again. Stay looking straight down at the ground. 1 more breath. Then heel toe the feet. Come up to standing. Let's just take a moment in Tadasana. Feet hip distance apart. Little toe side of the feet straight. Soften your knees if you hyperextend. Feel yourself standing. Close the eyes. Chest is open. Feet on the ground. Lift and spread the toes. Belly is soft. Feel your weight. Feel gravity. Feel the lift of your spine. Take 3 more breaths. Open the eyes, release. Let's come down onto the ground. Let's sit on the blanket that was underneath our head. And let's grab a bolster or some pillows. And let's take the feet wide. Doesn't have to be your widest ever, but we have done a lot of opening, so you may have a little bit more. So come forward so your sit bones are on the edge of the blanket. Lengthen through the heels. Now, if you're really tight through the hamstrings, you can grab something, roll up some towels, grab a block, pop it under your knees. Immediately you'll feel relief in your spine. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen as much as you can. Even if you've got something underneath your knees, you can still dig your heels in, lengthen through the heels, spread the toes. So we're pushing down into the ground with we're lifting our kneecaps, lengthening through the heels, quad muscles coming up to the upper thigh crease, so our legs are really sturdy and earthed here. Inhale, exhale, start to come forward. We won't be here too long. It's a very active pose. This is not a yin class. This is not a yin expression of this form. We're just keeping this here for some support because we've been using support through the whole class. Palms face up so I don't grip my upper body when my lower body is so active. You don't have to go too far. Let's just activate the legs, lengthen the spine, open through the chest. 3 more breaths. Close the eyes. Every time you exhale, navel comes back to spine. Active, active, active through the legs. And inhale, walk the hands back. Lean back or grab the inside of your knees. Pull them together. Lengthen them out. Lean back and just windshield wipe the feet. So we just use lots of muscle energy through the legs. and we'll come into seated forward fold. Now the same as when we were on the back, you can bring big toes together. You can have the heels kicked out a little bit. If that doesn't feel right, have the feet hip distance apart. Whatever feels right for you. Lengthen through the heels. If you lengthen through your legs and your heels come off the ground, roll up a towel, pop it under the knees and earth down through the heels. That's a sure sign that you hyperextend into your knees. We want the heels to be on the ground. You may even just choose to dig the heels into the ground, work the feet like that, and let the knees be a little softer. Spread the soles of the feet. Let the fascia be nice and open. Spread the toes. Inhale here. Raise the arms. Exhale, draw the navel back. Be tall through the spine. Inhale again. Exhale, come forward. Grab your belt. Hang on to your feet. Maybe you come over the top. Maybe you're at the side. Inhale here, lift. Exhale, fold. Take 5 full breaths. Lift the quad muscles up. Lengthen through the heels. Spread the feet. Keep it all active. Heart floats forward. Take the elbows a little wide so the collarbones stay broad. You don't lose yourself in this forward fold. Two more breaths. Navel drawing back as you exhale, creating more space to come forward. To come out, let's lengthen the arms. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring the arms down. And then release. Come down onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest. Just a little bit of a counter pose. Rock side to side. Whatever you need to do here. Maybe you're just still dropping into the ground. Let the feet relax. Two more breaths. Release the feet one at a time. Now grab something, either a couple of books with a blanket on top, or a bolster, or some firmer pillows. Stack them up. And let's come to lying down. So my back hips are on the bolster. So this is like a supported bridge. Sometimes we do this on the block, but today we're going to do it on something a bit softer. Whatever you've got at home. Lengthen out through the arms, rock the knees a little, and let's just soften into the back hips here. So there's a bit of a broader space than the block, so you will feel a little bit of your lumbar spine on here. You will feel a little bit of your buttocks on here, but it's the sacrum and the back hips that we want to be really centralized here, that are taking most of the weight. Take some nice big breaths and then just settle in, relaxing the tongue and the jaw. Now what I'm going to offer next is totally optional. I'm just tucking my shirt in. It's plow pose. So I can bring my knees into my chest, lengthen and rock my hips. Then I can take my legs up and over. Now you may just decide to stay here, lengthening your heels away from you, spreading your toes, the exact same leg action that we've been doing throughout the whole class. So push the femur away from you, so you can even put your hands here and push those muscles away, creating space. Or you can take it a little bit further. You can lift up off the bolster. You can tuck your elbows in and maybe your feet come down to the ground. If this feels like it's any strain at all on your neck, come out and back to the other option. Do not turn the head at all here. If you're here, take a few breaths. My soles of the feet are alert, spread wide. My quad muscles are active. My hands are supporting me. One more breath. And then I'm slowly lift the toes off the ground, have the hands on either end of the bolster. Bring the legs off the ground, lengthen through the heels again here. Do not turn the head. Lengthen, lengthen, my quad muscles are gripping. Take one more breath. And then I slowly rest my back hips back on the bolster, get it into the right spot. And I take my legs up into the air. So legs straight up here, lengthen through the heels. Make sure you rock. And maybe the bolster is a little more on the lumbar spine here. Make that super comfy. It's just a little like legs up the wall. Lengthen, lengthen, grip the muscles to the bones, spread the feet. Take one more breath like that. Relax the upper body, and then just let go. Let go of the feet. Let go of the knees. Let the legs dangle. If none of this is comfy, stay in bridge, or maybe you just come straight to this, or maybe you go to legs up the wall. Make it super comfy. So let everything be soft now. Feel the thighs heavy. Feel the back hips. Feel the lumbar spine. Feel the breath in the body, the shoulders. At any point, you can come back into bridge pose, feet on the ground. Otherwise, stay here for a little bit longer. Inversion, pelvis, legs above the heart. Keep relaxing, keep dropping, keep dangling those legs. Allowing gravity to have a different play in the body, draining the legs, supporting the heart, any big spontaneous breaths come in, sigh them out. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Bend the knees one at a time. Soles of the feet on the ground. Transition here for a moment. Rock the knees. Release the lower back. Push into the feet, just enough to lift the pelvis. Slide whatever is under your hips down to under your knees. Maybe you draw your knees in a little. Maybe you give yourself a gentle twist on both sides. Just for a breath or two. Maybe you go straight to Shavasana. As you settle into your Shavasana, make sure you have what you need. Maybe a pillow for under the head. Maybe a scarf for over your eyes. Something nice and light to take you into a bit of darkness. Make sure your heels are on the ground. Lengthen through the tail. Be warm. Pop a blanket over the top if you need it. Roll the shoulder blades under one by one. Take up space. Spread the legs. Thighs are heavy. Arms away from the body. Chin softly towards the throat. If that's not happening naturally, grab a pillow. Take at least 3 nice big breaths. And then just let it go. Let go of the breath. Let go of the body. Tune into the sensations. Just keep on dropping. If you have time and you're just feeling so heavy and yummy, stay for as long as you can. Unwinding the body. Otherwise, slowly bringing movement to the fingers and toes, hands and feet. Stretching and moving. As you roll to the right side, keep your eyes closed as you remove your scarf or covering. Take a moment here. Make your way up to a seat. Maybe you transition into a meditation now. Maybe you just take 3 to 5 breaths in a seat and then transition back to your day. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.